Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alicia and this is Cara, and she's joining me for another episode of Into the Word, and today's episode is called
Out of the Rut.
Yeah! So today we're looking at the parable of the three servants, and that is Matthew 25 verses 14 to 29. So to sum up the parable, there is a master and he has three servants, and he gives one servant one servant 5 bags of silver coins, another servant 2 bags of silver coins, and the last servant 1 bag of silver coins. And he goes away for a bit and tells the servants to go and make a profit. And when he gets back, the servant that had 5 bags has now made 10 bags, and the servant that had 2 bags made 4 bags, and then the last servant who gave 1 bag buried it in the ground so that he wouldn't lose any money or gain any money. And the master celebrated the servants that had made a profit on what they were given, and didn't celebrate the one that buried it in the ground, because he'd done nothing with the money, and he'd not gone out and tried to what word is it?
What were you saying?
Like, he'd not gone out to gain any money.
Like invest it.
Yeah.
Even does he gamble it?
No, he just
invest it.
He just puts it in the ground. Yeah. So that's something.
Okay. So in reading this, we felt that this was a bit of a challenge about productivity.
Mm-hmm.
I know personally, I'm a sloth. I'm very lazy, incredibly lazy, and reading this, I was really challenged about the fact that God has blessed me with the knowledge of Him,
mm-hmm.
and He will have blessed me with many talents, although I'm not entirely sure of them yet. And it's really important for me to be productive and sow them into the world, to really glorify God and be seeking His kingdom, rather than just, whether it's out of fear or laziness, just burying them in the ground,
yeah.
and not pursuing Him fully, because it's not righteous, mate.
So God blesses us with talents and gifts, like the fruits of the Spirit, which are like love, joy, peace. Which, if you look up on YouTube, you'll find many cheesy songs about, but they are great. And He also gives us natural gifts like singing, or being really good at sports or art, or just stuff like that. And it's really important to realise what your talent is, and then go out and pursue it, because God's given you that talent for a reason. And to be it is difficult to not be like, oh well, I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to do it. With different talents, it's a bit like, oh, that's so much more effort than this, or just trying to put it off. But it's important to be productive with what God has blessed us with, and to go out and use that to bring His kingdom to people who don't have His kingdom. To link our talents with the parable, to be like the 2 servants that multiplied their money, is like to have your talent, go out and make it better, or work on it and work hard on it, and then God like celebrates and is like happy that His children are like working at something that He's given them to work on.
With that, it was really interesting. So in it, the master, I think, says so it seems like the servant hasn't invested his money, he just buries it because he's fearful of losing it, and the master goes, that's wicked, that's not cool, basically. And that really links to, we were looking up like productivity in the Bible, to what happens to at the end of Deuteronomy, with Moses, and it's a reminder that like Moses didn't get to see the promised land, but that didn't mean he wasn't productive. Like, it was really important for him to keep working. So to link that back to the parable, it's important to be productive and to keep doing things, even if you might get doors shut, or if you feel like you're risking things and you don't see the fruit from those risks immediately, or you think every step you take it's not quite right. That doesn't mean we should stop taking them. Does it mean we should stay stationary and become unproductive and comfortable with just like being still in what we've got? We should continue striving and working for more, even if we don't see results immediately.
Yeah, and for the reference, that's Deuteronomy 34, and then where it says about the servant that was scared is Matthew 25 verses 25 to the end of the parable. So we've got some practical steps for you to to be productive.
This is not, I don't know if practical is like a practical step, but it's like an example, I would say, is, because I don't think you're going to say this because it's tooting your own horn, but Alicia's been given 2 months between finishing, 3 months between finishing her Canada year and then going to do her internship. I don't know if she's spoken about that yet on her channel.
No.
I broke the news, everyone. And I'm in a similar position. I've just finished my A-levels and I'm waiting to see what I'm going to be doing next. And it's really easy in times like that to go, well, I'm not doing anything, there's nothing to do. Not go, well, this is a time where I've got no opportunities, like I'm just working a kind of hospitality job.
But that's still an opportunity.
But it's still an opportunity. Yeah. It's not a time to just sit back and kind of embrace laziness at all, because there's opportunities on every doorstep. And when we say like God is in the waiting, like God is in your down times, God's in your time when you think I'm not doing anything exciting, I can check out of life for a bit, because that's not what God calls us to do. He calls us to seek Him everywhere, all times. Yeah. So that's not really a practical tip, but it's just the example. I'm not even saying the example. So in this time off, well, you can probably talk about your own life.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
So I've decided to volunteer at some camp called Soul Survivor for like 3 weeks, and then I have 2 weeks at home to then prepare for my internship, which starts in September, and I'm really excited about it. I'm doing youth and media for a church in Birmingham, and like going from busy stages of intense like life, like A-levels and gap years, and like in between the summer camps, it's really important to have that rest as well, to like recuperate, is that the right word? Recuperate and see where God wants to take you next. So but to be productive in that rut, in a sense, would be, I would say, to sit down and think, what are my talents, how can I use them in this time, and how can I then share that with people that I know or people that I don't know. It would be to sit there and take time to be like, what gift is going to be the best to use in this next season, and what gift do I need to use now? I'm trying to think of an example.
Yeah, well, it would have been easier for you, I think, for you to have gone home, got a temporary 2-month job, earn money, like that would have actually been better for you.
It would have been helpful.
But you chose to go, actually no, God's blessed me with this time. Yeah. So I'm going to go and serve for 3 weeks. That wasn't my natural go-to, was how can I feed into my relationship with God more. And so for me it was an inspiration that there's always time to be more productive in your Christian life.
Important to ask people around you what they think your talents are as well, because
it's hard to find your own, isn't it?
There are some that you might not realise is a talent, like not realise that you're actually really good with kids, and someone might be like, oh, you're amazing at kids work, why don't you try that? And that could be something that you're like, oh yeah, let's go and do that. Or like, you're amazing at baking but you don't do it a lot, so it's just like, yeah, or something like that, because you can bless people, a lot of people, with those two things as well.
Baking, yeah definitely.
Everybody loves cookies.
I would say on the flip side of that as well, this isn't really in line with the video, but it's important, is if you see something in someone else, encourage them, because if no one had told me that they thought I was quite good at writing, and I mean as in like essay writing, not fun writing, I would never have pursued that in my current way I'm pursuing it. And like, it is boring, I know, but like, if no one had told me that that was what I was good at, I never would have sat down and gone, I can still do things for God with this, and I can still actually really harness that. And it's not everyone can do what I do. I didn't even realise it until someone said. But yeah, so like, take time. If you see something, no one is ever going to be like, I wish you'd never encouraged me.
Yeah.
I wish you'd never said something nice to me. Like, they will never do that.
Yeah, it's really important to uplift everybody that you meet. Like, yeah. And also, it's important to pray and ask God what your talents are if you don't know what they are, because in that season, that is being productive in asking God, what are my talents? How can I use them? And try something new, because you never know, it might be right up your street. Yes. So, to sum up, be like the 2 servants that went out and made a profit. It doesn't matter how big the profit is, because in life it's a reward anyway. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any parables or questions or anything in the Bible that you would like me to try and understand,
do Job.
Comment down below, and yeah, watch my other Bible studies, and I hope you're enjoying this series, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.